Okay, let me see if that works. You should be able to tell me if there's sound. Where's the freaking button? God, I don't know how this thing works. Is there a chat button? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, it's working. Cool. All right. I'm not good at editing, so I'm just gonna go into this whole thing because I don't want to freaking edit anything. All right. I don't know who wants to hear this or who needs to hear this, but I'm tired of all this looksmaxxing. It's just really freaking annoying that it's become just such a topic. And to any looksmaxers out there, you're being cucked by a robot. To everyone in general, we're going to be discussing locus of control and why looksmaxing has come to the foreground of our conversations nowadays, as well as just in general the function of precarity as this effect of creating an atmosphere of instability. So anyway, let's go through it step by step. So the first thing is that we have this precarity aspect that everyone's experiencing. Everyone's miserable because they feel like there's nothing that they can do to escape this, rat race, and that the only ways out are to, gamble on whatever it may be, crypto, etc., etc., or they feel like they can take control over their own body. And in this hypervisual, algorithmic driven world, if you choose to surrender your agency to the algorithm and to the type of visual language that is understood and appreciated by the masses, then you will seek some kind of you'll get some compensation, be that monetary compensation or through the admiration or adulation of others, right? And in this context, we're seeing a lot of people just falling victim to a sad and just decrepit existence. My heart aches for the kids. There's a reason I'm putting these pictures of myself up here because a part of the normal process of aging is to go through phases where you don't look good. You may not like it, but that's just puberty. That's just life, right? And if you're going to seek to improve your appearance, it can't just be motivated by aesthetics. It can't be motivated by a Gnostic, unfalsifiable cult like the Looksmaxers. Okay? They tell you that you will ascend to an aesthetic nirvana, but you will never reach it because it's impossible. Because the goalpost will be moved, the gurus will come up with new transhuman ideals to measure you against. And what? What does this satisfy? Where do you end up? It doesn't satisfy a need for community, or if you're trying to satisfy this need for community with a group of people that don't love you, they have no interest in your well-being, they only want to mock and mog, what does it satisfy? It satisfies nothing. Okay? I think it's really tragic, again, that we are seeing so many people being made aware of this community that hitherto would have been a complete footnote. No one would pay any attention. But it's because of the precarity. It's because of the sense that this is almost a microcosm of our whole era, right? And I'm angry. I'm angry because this is bullying in the guise of escape. This is bullying that is determined to say, if you only improve yourself, if you optimize, you have a way out. But there isn't a way out. This is not the way out. Okay? The way out is to refuse to play that game. Because if you chase the illusion that they are giving you, you will flounder. The dream will be your master and you will be its slave. Okay? That is why you have to use these kinds of strong statements to help people understand what it is that they are signing up for when they allow this kind of mentality to invade their consciousness. Okay? And I didn't know what to say, where to take this until I watched Hank Green's video talking about no effort being wasted. Okay? When I think about that, it helps click everything into place. Okay? Because all of these folks that have accepted a hypervisual determination of their self-worth, it isn't that this effort that they've gone through is wasted, but it can become a motivation for them to identify who has hurt them, who has told them to go to another country and get their teeth filed down and put the enamel caps on or whatever the heck those are called, who has told them that they need to inject a bunch of drugs in order to be okay, who has told them, like an addict, that they will pursue the next plastic surgery, the next peptide, the next whatever it may be. It's the oligarchs that are determining what these algorithms tell us. Okay? It's in their interest and it's in their optimization for their retention metrics that they have determined we can sacrifice the self-worth of a whole generation on the altar of Instagram. Now, as I was saying before, this doesn't have to be wasted. Sure, it is damaging. It is hurting people. But we can transmute that energy into understanding where it's coming from. And then we can take that as a cautionary tale to help younger generations or people who have not yet fallen victim to this psychology. We can take the people who are not on the path, but they're not lost forever. And we can bring them to understand where they need to go. As I was saying before, locus of control is the important psychological concept that you need to understand the phenomenon of looksmaxxing. Okay? And then if you want to borrow from some other research, you can talk about micro, meso, and macro systems. All right? So you can have an internal or an external locus of control. You can be determining things and how you feel based off of things that you control, your behavior or what have you. Or you can allow other things, the outcomes, to determine how you feel and what happens. What the looksmaxxers are doing is they're taking these macro scale, external locus of control criteria. They are allowing that to become their micro internal motivations rather than the micro external where you're talking about your, the microsystem of your family, of your small personal relationships that you have, not your communal relationships, it's your personal relationships, where you can determine, you know, what it really means to be a person. You can't have a massive influence on these macro systems unless you have, a position of power or things like that. You can have an influence through your job. You can have influence through those kinds of ways, and those could be your internal um, ways of interacting with macro systems. Being like, I have chosen to take this path because I can control that. And those external ways that they're going to that macro systems are going to impact you, you have to ride them. You have to ride the external meso systems as well, because sure, you can't control what types of community organizations are around you, what types of things there are. You can take steps to change that. And that's really where we're going to have to see changes made. Rather than joining these communities that are tearing you down, identifying that mesosystem that builds you up. The reason I put all these pictures here is because it was not a fun experience going through puberty, having cystic acne, just generally there was a lot of hard times, but I wasn't allowing aesthetics to be my lodestar. I wasn't focusing that as my as anything that I was doing. Okay, if aesthetics are to be something you pursue, it should be a portion or a secondary feature related to your other goals. Okay, it should be related to you trying to do better on a race or in a sport or in whatever. It should be trying to address a health problem like I was saying with cystic acne, or it should be trying to address an issue like back pain or whatever it might be. You're having trouble with obesity and you need to go upstairs. There are things where the focus is not the aesthetics. The focus is what the change can do for you. Okay? Will you be able to spend that time with your family? Will you be able to keep up with your friends? Will you be able to do what it is you want to do, not just to be someone who looks a certain way? When you're determining what you are doing, you just have to ask that question. What does this satisfy? And if you're just satisfying someone else's desires, if you're satisfying some kind of external metric, some algorithm, you're being cucked by a robot and you're going to be miserable. So choose a different path. Satisfy a deeper desire. Thank you.